Hey guys, it's Friday again. I've had like a kind of fairly uneventful couple of weeks again. I feel like this time has been a bit of a slog in terms of work and stuff, or maybe it's just because I've become a finalist and I'm therefore really boring now. These days I get most of my kicks out of watching people run around the quad when it's raining to try not to get wet. Just what is my life becoming? I have done some cool stuff the past couple of weeks again. We had champagne and chocolates. I got suitably drunk and tried to smuggle small cream eggs into my handbag, but it was worth it because waking up on Saturday to a slightly squashed cream egg was again one of the highlights of my day. Really beginning to question what I'm doing with my life at this point. I went to see the Oxford Imps last night, who are this student improvisational comedy group who are absolutely fantastic. If you are an Oxford student or live in and around Oxford, they perform every Monday at the WOAHSODEEPANDMEANINGFUL, so you should totally go see them because they're amazing. Today I went to a 1 Billion Rising event, which is basically kind of like it's like an international event that happens on Valentine's Day. It's kind of like a flash mob to raise awareness of violence against women. The one in Oxford was organised by our ex-junior dean, Donna, who also happens to be a lovely person generally and one of my good friends, so that was really cool. We got to have a dance in the rain and I felt like a bit of a drowned rat, but it was fun. And work-wise, I'm still just kind of soldiering on with my coursework. Gonna have a draft done hopefully within the next couple of weeks. One of the scariest things I think that has happened to me in the past couple of weeks is today I had my last tutorial for paper 6, which probably to you guys sounds like, okay, cool, why? So apart from my tutorials that I'm still going to be having for my extended essay about just drafting, redrafting my essay, this was my last tutorial ever where I'm going to be covering like no material. It's just a really weird feeling. Oxford is a very strange place, I think, for things like this. Because everything is so intense, you go from one thing to the next thing to the next thing. As soon as you've completed one thing, you're immediately thinking about like the next deadline or the next event. You don't really have time to kind of linger in your mind on things. When stuff comes up that is kind of ending, or it's the last thing of something, it kind of takes you by surprise. And you start thinking about other things, you know, like in a few months' time I'm going to sit my finals, and then that's kind of the end of my formal education. And that has kind of defined my life up until this point. I realise this video is just getting a little bit deep, which is possibly not really like what my videos usually are. Good sentence there. Oxford is great, but I do think that the fact that it's so intense and stuff kind of almost makes you like miss things as they happen, because everything is just so busy all the time that you don't really ever have time to just stop and think. You're kind of so wrapped up in like the stress and kind of panic of getting things done and completed that it's not until it's all finished that you actually stop and be like, whoa, I've done all of this. At the moment I'm writing a speech for the President's Dinner, which happens tomorrow, which is basically where the new JCR bench and the old JCR bench have dinner together, and the outgoing bench, the President and Vice President, do speeches. And it really doesn't seem like that long ago at all that I was at the one last year for new bench. I just don't really understand where the time's gone. I never really understood why a lot of third years became kind of quite secluded and cut off from college life and stuff in their final couple of terms, and I always thought, oh, it's probably just because they're stressed. I kind of feel now like it might also be partly because when you're kind of coming to the end of things, you want to actually take some time to spend it doing the things and spend it with the people that like really, really matter to you in the least cheesy way possible. I'm not really a big person for New Year's resolutions, but this year I started this little project where I have a jar every day for a year, although I think I'm going to need a bigger jar. I have these little slips of paper and I write the date, and then I write something that happened on that day that like made me smile, or that was fun. It's weird because there are so many things I now realise that would just completely go out of my head, and I just would never even think of them after they happened, unless I actually force myself to go back through the day. I think that's kind of what I'm going to try and do. I don't really know what's going on with my arm here, but it's just having its own little party. I'm gonna try and notice all the little things and appreciate them while I have them. Valentine's Day, peace out.